Okay, yes sir. My name is Kevin Dye. I own Dye Painting, DYE Painting. We're licensed, bonded, insured, workman's comp, unemployment insurance, all the fun stuff that you're supposed to have. So I am here for Cedar Creek Realty to do a bid on this property. I like to do everything with a video camera so that you see what I see, and that way we can discuss this. We are a detail-based company. We do detail work. So for us, this video not only helps the homeowner, but it helps us because that way we remain true to the exact bid, because sometimes we do bids and we don't actually get to the house for long periods of time. May it be weather, may it be scheduling. We are seriously booked, but this might be something we could fit in this year, and at worst case in the spring. So with all that said, here's your home. Okay, so what I see, obviously pressure wash, that goes without saying. We do not do any work without pressure washing. That is extremely important. I must have a clean surface. We use the best materials that we can get our hands on. So that leads us to the next thing, stain versus paint versus elastomeric. You probably have some background, since you mentioned elastomeric, you probably have some background in building or some background in coverings and stuff. And not a lot of people up here mention elastomeric. Now for me, many years I was licensed in Phoenix. I loved elastomeric. But here, up in this area, due to the drastic climate changes and temperature changes, I've kind of stopped using it because it's been so problematic. If you are interested in using it no matter what, that's fine. We do have a background, we have the machinery to use it, we have everything, but I tend to tell people the truth that I've had a little more issue than it's worth in this area using elastomeric. So with that said, you know, we can kind of go from there. Now back here on this wall, I'll basically just kind of iterate what we would do. We'd show up, the whole house would obviously be pressure washed, or everything that we're going to paint would be pressure washed. Netting would be pulled down. If you decide to put more netting up, or decide to have us to put more netting up, we can do it in a different way. We can run it on the line here, whatever. We can put it back the same way, but for us to paint the house properly and prep the house properly, it has to be removed. I am a stickler on fixing woodpecker holes properly. That woodpecker hole would actually, I would take a hole saw, I would go up there and put a new hole in the wall that is perfectly round, and then I would take my sheet of T111 and I would put, you know, line it up with the line on the T111, and I'd put a plug in it. The same way whatever's behind that would be taken down and it would be plugged professionally so that we see something that it's very hard to notice. You just don't notice. And then even some of the small stuff, we just take a sand or two to even them out. All windows are masked. We don't use newspaper, we don't use duct tape, we don't use the fun stuff. We use proper 3M film. Again, the best we can get. Some areas will need to be bleached. Obviously, like this tile stuff, because it's just water, and that water sits there and you get your dot mold or spot mold, they call it. A lot of the tops of these guys usually. All windows obviously masked the best that we possibly can. We often will trench the walls back. This already has the barrier guard, so we don't need to do that. But on this side, we would probably trench the walls back. It is in definite need. It does have, you know, we are stuck with the idea of paint or stain. So I do see some mold up in those eaves too. So that would have to be bleached out. We can stain. If you knew the exact product, that would definitely be a big help. We also would fix those woodpecker holes right there. If it's on the house, unfortunately, I'm going to see it. It's what we do. Okay, so we're looking at that back side, this side, and the front side. Stuff like this cedar on there we can get rid of as well. I'm just going to set this bid up kind of a la carte and kind of go from there, because this is really a big house, and to be completely honest, you know, we had we've been, you know, we've been spoken to about doing the back side, this side, and underneath the deck, and this side, which is really bad. So with these three sides, the amount of time and material for us to do this one side, which definitely needs it just as bad, is somewhat minuscule. So, I mean, I'm not trying to upsell work. We are very busy all year round. We're very blessed. But I see this and I'm like, why would we do 3 sides and leave this side, which obviously needs it just as bad. And the amount of time that it would take to do this side would be a day, day and a half. So how we do things. Okay, so pressure wash, doors, whatever. I'm just going to do the bit on the other side, and that'll pertain to this side as well if you do decide to do that side. So that's just my 2 cents. Having us here, you know, like doing the railing, if we are doing it, it definitely needs it. Where we stop here, or this side is really not that big of an area, but it would have the whole house tied up in one time. So obviously I caulk everything in, everything. The last painters did not. I like to caulk everything in. I get up there, I caulk those seams, I caulk these seams, stuff like that, even right there, that should have been caulked in, that should repel water. I often like to even caulk those seams if it's going to be painted, or a opaque stain, which it looks to be. Definitely in need. Gonna need some sanding on that board right there to get rid of those. Windows are masked, caulking in all these, which started to. That's what's going to save you from the water. Mask this thing completely, entirely off. I do not like to get paint on anything or stain on anything. Now, trim would be caulked in everywhere. All those lines would be caulked. And then also we have that woodwork underneath. So that woodwork would have to most likely have a transparent put on it, or a poly of some form put on it, so that you're starting to pick up dot mold and you're starting to show the wear. So it's starting to happen. So I can a la carte that as well. But again, we're in a situation where I think once we start, you know, we do 3 sides of the house and the fascia and the gutters, obviously, to match in with the fascia. And then, okay, so we're going to do the railing. So we do the railing, and then by the time we kind of get to that point, more times than not, we've seen that people tend to want to just do all of it at once. So I'll set it up a la carte, let you guys decide from there. It definitely is in need, as you know. I could clean this up rather nicely. Yeah, these guys are dry, really, really dry in here. And you're starting to pick up that mold through there. And with that stuff, it's sometimes good to bleach it, pressure wash, bleach, mix it, and just put a new clear on it, or even stain it. This door does not need our attention. It's absolutely gorgeous though, but it does not need our attention. Lights are always taken off the building. All socket covers taken off the building. The floor is masked with duct tape, and then we run plastic the entire distance, and then we put drop cloths and or rosin paper over the top of it. I do not like to get anything on composite decks. Stain gets near it, it's there for life. We were very adamant about us not spilling or getting anything on that. Everything would get painted or stained. Again, all these things would either be masked off or taken down, bleached to get rid of this mold right here, just dot mold, and then we would stain it in. I could even caulk these in if we're going with an opaque stain. Again, I could seal all this stuff up like that was originally done, like in here. Posts under here, I tell people that having us come in and do all this under here is really not cost efficient. It's very time consuming, but these beams and your big supports and so forth, they do need it. I think it's very important we mask off the concrete and do it like that. I really love the amount of parking on this property too. It's absolutely gorgeous. We work in this neighborhood a lot. So that brings us over here. Again, main support beams would be done. Support beams would be done. This area down here, like I said, this whole side of the house would barely take me anything to do. Lights would come off, obviously. We could do this run in no time. I often like to caulk in stuff like these. I like to caulk that stuff in. Doors, so far, all of them look in very good shape. So I don't know if it would even be something you would need us to do. Since everyone that I've seen look very good. But I mean, this stuff out here, it just looks in time. And this deck as well, the lid, we call it, of this deck as well. And then even on this outside side, there was a gutter that was obviously taken down. That would need to go too. So, I mean, just my 2 cents, which is worth about 2 cents. But I see, here's your downspout, used to be there. I just see the amount of time and money for us to do that side is not that drastic of a difference when you have, that's the easy side. You've got 3 hard sides. Even up above, we have all the scaffolding and our license for such, if needed. Back here, you probably wouldn't even need it. Maybe just some work planks. Trying to think anything that I might have left out. Again, all the 1x on that fascia would be caulked in. All the corners are caulked in. We try to do 10-year plus paint jobs. Best materials we can buy. We don't like to screw around. We have a long list of references and we get to work on a lot of beautiful houses. So we've been very, very blessed. The reason why they're attacking that line right there, which I could fix, I can make it look like that never happened, is because it's soft wood. They have found that that's softer than the other wood, so they're making their move on it. But they don't know that there's support in there and they're gonna run into that anyway. But so yeah, it is what it is. This is the downfall of the areas. We do get a lot of woodpeckers, but I could fix that. And I even have something that might go up under the eave that could stop that from happening again. So we'll leave that until when we discuss this. Yeah, pretty much cut and dry. Pretty much everything that, like this guy here, it's in really, really bad shape. Pretty much cut and dry. Pretty much all of our regular stuff. Again, this door looks fine. I think the big thing is I use Kelly Moore, top of the line flagship paint that they use on all the eaves and stuff, so that I can, I'm sorry, on all the fascia and gutters. It's a low sheen. I don't like too much shine, but I like a little more than flat. And then through here, I would suggest something of a poly. If you do decide that you would like to use an elastomeric, we could definitely discuss that. Obviously, it's a little more expensive. Grab my camera bag. A little more expensive, but again, it is what it is. We often do video work with our HD cameras. We got 2 HD cameras in our 2 trucks. So we like to videotape the work as we were doing it. To send home to let you guys see progress reports. We are a fast moving company. We make our money by doing it right, doing it fast, and getting out. So we are not the company that's going to show up at your house and be here for 3 weeks. I have a way to get rid of that too. I custom make my own metal, sheet metal, like lids that we would nail in right on that line, and it actually would come out far enough where it would divert the heat around it, or the black would stick to the bottom of it. And that stops a lot of this. Right now, we'd get a little bit of sanding, we can get rid of that too. But that's what you're seeing. See, I just noticed this side needs a lot of help too. Again, this door looks really good. So, hence why I mentioned it. Again, I apologize, I'm not trying to upsell you, but it is what we do. So, if you have any questions, please let me know. Please email me or you can give me a call and we can go from there. This is a beautiful home. We work a lot right in this little pocket over here. So if you need references, we have those as well. And hopefully this video finds you well and explains some of what we actually do. So thank you very much, and we'll talk soon.